Okay, hi everybody. We are out in my crafting area in the garage. No makeup today. Didn't feel like it, so if you hate the look of my face, move on. All right. Anybody who follows my page knows I've been working on some candle crafts. A lot of you keep asking me for physical products. So I thought I would bust out some of my candle molds and start work. Now, this is one of the first ones that I poured, and as you can see, there are some areas on this wax that didn't really come out the way that I wanted. And the reason why is because I used just what's known as like a jar wax. So I'm working with the same wax that I had before when I was pouring into jars. Okay, it's softer, it has a lower melt point, so it's really made for being poured into a jar and being contained and burned that way. So these were just some testers. I just wanted to mess around because I've never really worked with silicone molds before, and so I just wanted to see what it was like, and I learned a lot. However, what I'm doing today is a little bit of experimentation because I really like the look of this design, but I'm not that happy with just the monotone. Like, I feel like this is pretty basic, and I feel like we could do way better. So today, I'm going to try to create a little platform so you guys can keep seeing this guy. No, probably not. All right, well, I'll pick him up and we'll work it out. So today what I'm going to be using are these. And sorry for the condition of the box. I actually use them. This is a acrylic ink. So it's an alcohol-based ink that comes in these delicious colors. So here's this gold that it looks like I'm actually out of. Shoot. Well, I guess we're gonna move on to one that I didn't use so heavily. Yeah, this one. This one has a lot of color in it. What's this called? Iridescent Rich Bronze. Okay, so this color, if you guys can see it, it's got a lot of shimmer to it. It's pretty. So we're gonna try it. I also have this awesome silver color, and this one's called Iridescent Bright Silver, and I think that that's a good name for it because as you can see, it's pretty bright. And I have another one here. Let's see. This is just white. This is just titanium white, and it looks like you can see that demarcation there towards the bottom. It's actually separated. So I really like using these in my painting. If you guys don't follow me or haven't followed me for a while, you may not know, but I kind of do a lot of different art stuff. I'm an artsy-fartsy kind of gal. So I've used these in my paintings quite often, and it's been a long time. They're all kind of separated. It's been a long time since I've actually tried to use them. So this candle, again, felt a little bored with. Like the idea, but since it's messed up on the side, I thought, and over here, you guys can maybe you can see that, how it's all chewed up there by the edge of the mandible and the snake body. So because it's all messed up, I thought, I'm still going to use it, but I want to try using it as a tester. So I've got a couple little brushes here. Not really sure which one's going to work out the best. I also have this, and this is a Yasutomo iridescent ink palette. So this is actually more of like a watercolor, but it's basically the same formulation as this, just doesn't have the alcohol in it. So I'm thinking that if I can use one of these alcohol inks in with one of these colors, mix it up, see if I can make something that should go onto the snake here. So let me see now about trying to get this up where we can see what's going on while I do this, because y'all aren't that interested in looking at my face, I'm sure. and would rather see what's going on. Oh, yeah, okay, that's better. So, let's point our little snake guys here. You can see them. All right, so I'm really bummed that I'm out of this. I'm so, okay, I'm bummed. It's frustrating. Anyway, it's just a tester. It's okay, Sayward. It's just a tester. All right. Let's see. So again, I really like this blue here, or this blue. That's silly. I really like this bronze here. And it does, as you can see there, it does kind of have like a lot of gold fleck to it. So I like that. But I also am kind of leaning on this silver. So I think maybe what we'll do is try painting one snake with this, the other snake with this, and just see what happens. Nah. Copper, you can go sit over there. All right, so I'm shaking this up. If you weren't able to see, this is the Liquitex Professional Acrylic Ink. Again, this is iridescent rich bronze. So while I'm shaking this up and preparing it here, I have a little lid that I use. It has some styrofoam in it. Just helps keep everything where it's supposed to be. You know, while I'm getting this appropriately dispersed, I've had so many requests from you guys for things that you can do at home. You know, you guys get work from me, and then it's like, well, what else can I do? You know, and all of my works come with visualizations, and you get photos so that you can like work on your manifestations at home. But people want the next step. Y'all want to be involved, which I love. I absolutely love. But it's like, how am I going to make that happen for you guys? So this is one of the steps that I have. I'm actually looking at creating kind of like a subscription box, but at first, while I work them out, it's just going to be exclusive boxes. It will not be a monthly subscription, because I want a chance to feel it out and figure out what that's like and how I can best create things that you guys want. Right? Okay, so again, here we are, and I'm just going to take this, and we're going to see what happens. Now, my thought and hope is that this ink will collect inside of these spots in between the scales and kind of bring us an interesting effect. And what I'm seeing here really is that it is kind of finding its way in between those scales. Some of these are not so well coated. So it's going to be a challenge here to try to figure out how I can get the ink to run in between the scales in a way that's more uniform. I'm kind of just brushing it along here, and you can see. Let's see if you guys can see. Can you see? You can see that it's like, I don't know, it's coming together. It's not perfect. It's not perfect, but that's okay, because this is just a tester and we're just trying to learn here. But it is kind of coming along. So, I don't know. It's interesting. I thought that I would do some stuff like this, and now what I read is that after you get the ink where you want it, then you let it dry and it'll just like hang out. So there are spots on this, and you can't really see it very well, but there's spots on this where it definitely went between the scales, but then there are spots where it just is being so phobic. It does not want to be there. It's not really sticking. So, I'm not sure if this is possibly a problem with the wax itself, because the wax has a pretty high oil content, and so it's like not really wanting to hang out. Let's try painting this head, not such a textured surface, and see what happens. Yeah, but it's not really pooling where there's not a whole bunch of scales. So I'm not sure. This could work. This certainly could work, but I just don't know how well it's going to work here. So a lot of what I do when it comes to art and crafting is just trial and error. I think to be, oops, you see that? I made a little, get off of there. Made a little oopsie there. I think a lot of what it takes to be an artist, and mind you, I am not a well-known, famous, professional artist, okay? If I'm famous for anything, it's my spellcraft. But what I really love is art. And so that's why I brought art into my spellcraft. And what I think it takes to like really be an artist is being willing to fail. Is this project going exactly how I'd hoped? No. Should I just freak out and be like, I suck, it's time to like give up and quit and not do this anymore because this sucked so much? No. That's that's the way that you guarantee failure, is when you just give up. So a lot of us, I think, don't settle well with the idea of failure, right? We don't like the idea that we might not succeed. We don't like to take risks because ultimately we either fear the failure or we fear our own success. Because what happens if this went perfectly and everything went well, blah, 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 then what? Well, then I'd have to make a whole bunch of these. And if you're a person who is worried about not knowing the next step and not knowing how, and not knowing like what the end picture is going to look like, that may be something that's scary for you. I lived my life that way when I was younger. I was pretty afraid of my own success. And, you know, I really just kind of shot myself in the foot with that for years and years and years. But if art has taught me anything, it's that it's okay to fail. And sometimes when you fail, you end up with something that's considerably different than what you had imagined, and oftentimes it's a lot better. So, as you can see, this is not going exactly how I had hoped. Let me get the front of his face. Come here. Let me paint your face, little guy. Oh, you're so cute. Okay, so this is not going exactly how I'd hoped, but it is kind of starting to turn out. You know, we are having some deposits of color, and I'm kind of happy with it. Now, I think we should move over to the other color here and see what happens. This is not, again, Liquitex Professional Acrylic Ink, Iridescent Bright Silver. This is not exactly what I had hoped. And if I just quit right now and go, that's not what I wanted, well, then project's over and I'm done. I ain't like that anymore. I'm not like that anymore. You shouldn't be either. You should be okay with failing once in a while. You should be willing to try and fail. Because you know what I learned from my failure? You know what I learned about failure? Failure is not like the end of all things. Failure is just a sign that what you're doing, the way that you're doing it, the situations around, whatever, that's not working. That's all that it is. So the only time that you are guaranteed failure is when you stop trying. And I think that a lot of us, especially if we're prone to giving up easily, we see failure as like, that's it, it's over, there's no chance, there's no hope. But that's not true. It's not true. Quit telling yourself that. Now, this here is pretty slick. I'm pretty happy about it. I like this silver actually much more. And it's kind of hard to see with this overhead lighting situation I got going on here. But it's definitely sinking into these places. And I'm liking what's going on. So kept trying, got a little bit of success. Now, sorry guys, I gotta talk and paint, and I'm not necessarily great at that because my brain's trying to go into the zone. Anyway, so I think that when we come across things in our lives that we're uncertain of and that are difficult, one of the best things that we can learn to do is, to be able to take a punch, to be able to like fail and know that failure is not the end all be all consequence of everything. And, you're not a terrible person because you made a mistake. You're not a terrible person because this thing didn't work out. You're not like doomed and destined to failure because this thing didn't go how you wanted it to the first time. A lot of times I find when I'm doing something and I've tried and it's just not working out. I've tried everything I can think of and man, this just is not happening. Sometimes it's not meant to happen. Sometimes things don't work out for a reason, and it's because you're meant for something else, you're meant for something more. It is what it is. Now, there is something to be said about failure happening because you did not put in the effort. All right, that is a real thing, and I'm not here to say that it's not real. What I am here to say is that if you've tried your best and you've done all that you can do and it's just still not working out, then understand that maybe it's not meant to. Not everything that we want in our lives we're meant for. We're not perfectly omniscient human beings. We don't exactly go around knowing exactly what we're supposed to be doing every moment of every day. And if you are that person who's like, Sayward, I absolutely know what I'm supposed to be doing every minute of every day, and I have my entire life planned out. Well, la-di-da for you. Congratulations, because you are the outlier here. The majority of us are going around and we're just kind of hanging. We're just like raw dogging life, whatever comes. A magic bill comes in the mail. Holy crap, what am I going to pay? How am I going to deal with this? Or, your beloved pet runs out into the street, rest in peace. Or, you got a good friend and it turns out that your good friend is doing all kinds of stuff on you that you had no idea. That's life, baby. That's life. And those things can feel like, why me? Why is this happening in my life? It's because I'm bad. It's because God hates me. It's because blah, blah, blah. My karma, my blah, blah. And there's something to be said about the fact that life is life. So, I don't know. If you've been having a hard time lately and things have been rough for you and you feel like everything just keeps being a failure, well, maybe sit back, reassess, be sure that you've done everything that you actually can do, and take it as it comes. I find a lot of people who come to me for especially manifestation stuff, like, they don't understand that you have to be willing to let that go out into the universe and know that it's going to happen for it to bounce back in the way that you're hoping to. A lot of us want to just cling and hyper focus and obsess on whatever it is that we're hoping for. And it's not the way that manifestation works, It's really hard because when you want something really bad and you've done everything that you can for it, survey says you should be treating it like a child and watching it and nurturing it and tending to it. And all of that in a way is fine and good. But in reality, when it comes to metaphysical manifestation, you got to be living it. You got to be living like it's already happened. you know? So, I don't know. It's just something to think about. Now that I'm done with my spiel there, this actually is one snake that wraps around this skull, and it has 2 heads. So I'm joining up the bronze and silver parts here in the back of the skull. And it seems like it's coming together. So there is the first step of this. And as I move back over here, the parts of the alcohol ink that have already dried are now kind of creating a base for a second coat so that I can add more color to that. So this is what I'm saying. Like, I gave up on this spot. I was told you just a couple minutes ago, well, this doesn't look like it's really working. Well, as it turns out, it was working. But I was in the process, I was in a part of the process where things didn't really make sense. And I didn't know where I was going, didn't know how it was going to work, didn't know if it was going to work. And instead of just giving up on it, I let it go for a while, and I came back to it. And situation had changed, environment had changed, and now suddenly this idea that I had that I didn't think was going to work too well is now starting to work. So, proof of concept right there for y'all. Be willing to set it down for a minute. Be willing to wait and watch. Not everything in life is about action, right? And sometimes waiting is the best action. Sometimes watching and observing is the thing that you need to do. Sometimes setting your troubles down and coming back to them later is what you need to do. All right? It is not always about, how do I fix this right now? What do I do right now? Now, do. Sometimes the appropriate thing to do is to just take a rest. So, let things gel, let things dry, let things hang out a bit and see what happens. Because in this case, right here, it is exactly what I needed to do. All right, so we have the start of something interesting here. And hopefully I've given y'all a little bit of personal insight into life. I was not planning on starting this video to do that, but, you know, here we are. So what I'm going to do with this now, because I've already, I guess I have a couple spots here on the back of the silver that's not really come through the way that I'd hoped. So what I'm going to do now is just like, let this hang out. Let this gel. Let this do its thing. And in a couple hours, once it's dried and I feel like the alcohol ink has dried really well, then I'm going to come back and I'm going to do another layer. And we're going to see what happens. You know, the best thing in life that you can do is to try. A failure is only a failure when you give up entirely. And if you feel like things aren't working in the way that you had hoped, maybe it's time to sit back and reassess. So I hope this was helpful to you guys. I'll probably post a picture of it on my Facebook and Instagram, maybe do a little TikTok there once this babe is well coated to my satisfaction. And if you guys are interested, by all means, please keep an eye out for my upcoming products. And I think I'm going to do, for the first one, I'm going to do like a limited edition, like 10 boxes. So if you're interested, please keep your eye out for that, because I have a feeling that they're going to disappear pretty quickly once I get them out there. So anyway, I thank you for taking time with me today. If you haven't already, hit like and subscribe. It really helps me. And I'll see you guys on the flip side. Blessed be.